stipend, my friend, and free passage it has booked. Ask them, and I shall answer. They say only one of your kind. I was told. Bang! With a bag indeed, Amadeus. The bridge is yours. Now...
Have a nice day, sir. Butterflies. They must taste great on bread.
Southeast to Hunter's Edge, north to incomparable suffering. Well then.
Southeast it is, for now at least.
He can slip 6 warm bodies past rumble for the...
If I've said it once, I've said it more times than a troll can count. Warm bodies do not people make. We are free immaculates and free slaves, and I...
Calmer heads ought to prevail here. Let's simply pay the toll for all concerned and move on.
We aren't the Bank of Ribelon. No need to insert ourselves where we don't belong.
All right, we'll do it your way.
Enough. I'll not let this idiot troll or his idiot king hinder the goddess's affairs a moment longer. In her name, I bid thee fight.
If I've not got any go...
Slay the blubber from this thing. And is that from his second chin?
How many souls were sacrificed to create a bloodstone this powerful?
We can honor those lost by destroying this perversion of their lives.
How many souls were sacrificed to create a bloodstone this powerful?
We can honor those lost by destroying this perversion of their lives.
Void rift, and not a moment too soon. Our shelter plane is saved, dear hunter. Quite excellent.
East to Hunter's Edge. North to incomparable suffering. Well then.
Southeast it is. For now.
Only going to say, hold on the foot if I said. Oh, the gentle tinkling of gold. Intoxicating.
No, hide to the village.
Go on, march!
Jingle, jingle, precious gold. The king will be pleased indeed.
Play the blubber from this fool. I think I'll make a candle for me second chin.
This arrow seeks more than one target.
Nimble as a fox.
Only going to say, hold on the foot if I said.
Calmer heads ought to prevail here. Let's simply pay the toll for all concerned and move on.
We can spare the gold, after all. Better to end this.
Oh,
No, hide to the
Go on, march!
you paid the
cost for this.
I would have preferred death to this. What goddess would ask for this?
wheelbarrows full of them. You must be making dead man stew over in Luculla. Oh.
The hen who shares her feed receives a greater second helping. shares of feed receives a greater second helping.
I need to dry off. I prefer to drown my sorrows with ale.
Look out!
Oh,
I see
there.
a trap.
A word of warning, Wanderer, before you continue on your merry way. See these corpses here? Be a good fellow and take them as a hint, Immaculates. Orcs and humans both have taken Hunter's Edge. Its villagers are now slaves in the mines to the west, or they've been bled. As long as you live in the limbo between coming and going, though, why not have a look at what I have to sell? You'd be surprised to see what a scouring skeleton can gather together in a dying town.
Feeling hot under the collar.
Yeah! Well, don't go round angering Immaculates if you want to keep your vitals intact. Though perhaps it won't be very long before they have a stab at one another's vitals instead. I have the feeling there's trouble brewing between the orcs and the humans in there, and who can blame them, really? Just ain't natural for them to consort, I say. Only good can't say I remember who I was before the change came over me. But these days, I'm a travelling trader of sorts. There's an immaculate necromancer in the village ahead. She's the one who brought me back from... She's an especially bright one, you know. Most necromancers can only revive a dead corpse into an animated one, but she manages to yank back some semblance of consciousness too. I don't remember much, but the thrill of trade certainly calls to me. These days, most undead are busy haunting Sicil or picking the way in the Lucula mines. But I keep a low profile and stay out of sight. I know the weapons of which you speak. I've even hidden away a piece of one myself. I had planned to pass it down to my son, but... well, maybe you can... Is that one of them lovely big water builds? Oh, no, false alarm. Just a few yards of testing. My, you're still alive. Way to beat the odds, Wanderer.
Source Hunter, welcome, welcome. I'm watching on with weary eyes how the Immaculates strike again. They've gone from shedding blood among their own to recruiting orcs and cutthroats to do it for them. It was once a quiet sort of village. Families and small-time merchants mostly. Recently, it was targeted by a tribe of... Their leader, Grutilda, is known far and wide for her cruelty and cunning. She oversaw the murder of countless villagers and used their blood to fuel a great number of bloodstones. Once they were dead, they were reanimated as undead corpses and sent to work in the mines of Lucula. By order of Leandra, the orcs were joined by a tribe of humans from the northern peaks of Tanneroth. A band of male warriors are they, and they devote allegiance to their leader, Jarl. Jarl arrived with his own formidable supply of bloodstones, which means his tribe has been operating under directions from the conduit for some time. Where once they ransacked for base pleasure and material gain, now they do it by... These are far from the blindly devoted Immaculates of Silverglen, however. The orcs and the humans here alternate between bitter fighting and hostile peace. Personally, I believe they're best exploited through their rivalry. Get them to fight each other, and you can stand on the side. He has a residence at the far end of town. Though I have my doubts he's having people over for tea now that the Immaculates have landed. Know that Zandalore is wily, so beware. If a wizard doesn't want you in his home, nevertheless, his house is the very place you'll want to search. The accumulated knowledge stored there is quite phenomenal, and beyond...
To think I could have made a fortune.
No. Feeling hot under the collar.
You don't look like a tribesman or orc, but I suppose I can't be certain. Then again, Jinxica is my name, and until recently I lived a placid sort of life among the people of Hunter's Edge. The baker might leave me a bit of milk left over from this breakfast. The barkeep stroked my back between filling glasses. I had many friends here, but none so dear as a little trio. A married pair and their daughter, employed by the wizard to keep his home. They spent many long hours squashing. If you come to this village to help and not to harm, you might be able to save those 3 kind souls from the orcs that have been. A kind but private man he is. He set up his home here several years ago, but never remained there long enough before the Dark Invaders seemed very interested in him indeed. They've been skulking around outside the house since they arrived, but not even one of their would that an invasion were all. They destroyed every crumb of life they could find and sent their filthy rats to seek out those who evaded. Each life they took infused their strange stones with power. Their queen glowed with delight as a parade of the human tribe came shortly after. They had their own supply of the glowing stones, and the orc queen took no easy liking. They've survived this carnage so far by concealing themselves most cleverly. I've done my best to guard their hiding place from the slime-bellied rats attempting to sniff them out, but I fear my efforts aren't enough. Until the village has been rid of vermin, those savages by savages employed, the orcs have one among them, the rat catcher they call him, who claims to have trained rats to do his bidding. They've swarmed the place in search, but you're not like the brutes inside those walls. No, you approached me with hand, not boot, outstretched. Perhaps you could help me. With these rats, they must be squashed, every last one of them. I've done my best so far, but there are simply too many for one set of claws to handle. With your... Oh, that bothersome old Tom. No, he and I are hardly friendly, much less friend. I can slip through these walls as I please, but you'll need to find your own way into the village. And remember, my friend...
Don't mess around, these immaculates.
I'm drenched!
Warm as dragon's breath! Soaked to the skin!
What the orcs want with all this fun? Make a chandelier, most like.
You there, Flatlander. Stay at your business.
Hot under the collar!
Come to play now the town's been taken of you. Typical Flatlanders. Lucky for you, the goddess don't discriminate. Well, come quickly then. There's still townsfolk on the loose, and the chase has probably made them wild as cornered dogs. One might pop out of a bush and take an eye before you can shout your own name. Better you first check in with the higher-ups. You've got Jarl, the righteous leader of Weird the Mountain, and blood-stained Gratilda, Queen Dog of... Well...
They say humans and orcs don't get along, but I've seen a pair as thick as a troll's toe hair.
Comrade, did you hear that? It sounds like these Immaculates are at odds with the local orc savages. I'll keep a sharp eye out for anything we could use to nudge these factions closer to chaos. If we can get them to destroy each other, we'll kill 2 birds. Nothing'd please me more than seeing Hunter's Edge cleared of the scum that destroyed it.
Skin, we'll see who'll end up beneath those boots.
Blasted mosquitoes. Never a moment's peace with these filthy vermin buzzing in me. Oh, brother, I've crossed me pests. 'Tweren't a tiny winged bloodsucker whining at me, but a tiny brother. I think the human's asking me a question. Think I ought to tell the tiny pest who I am? Or I tell her I lost his horn in a scuffle with another ickle human? That pesky bugger might have got me all, but I've got something to... Serving her, you're less than
Your mother's orders are the only ones we hear. I'd sooner snap my own tusk off than salute that
cow snot comes out of your mouth in the rain. Your mother's not one to tolerate a mess.
Just had a long bath in a cold lake.
I need to dry off.
Am I gazing at the holy suns, or am I wrong altogether? Look here! Look at you! How I admire one whose head is lodged so firmly upon their shoulders, like a snot eye, alas. I fare not so, for I may replace my battered cranium as jauntily as a wizard may his hat. Just consider some of why make a permanent choice? Why not cater to the occasion as called for? I would, but for the... And so I ask, where are you, O ephemeral soul? If in a tooth you may be pulled, if in an arm you may be broken, where are you, oh delicate monstrosity? Surely you jest when you question this question's importance. Say I opt for that there theft if I play the part of the aforementioned wizard, and swap its rugged lineaments for the I. Yes. Who is I, then? Were I sure that the soul houses within the chest, within one's little you? Oh, I beg of you.
Big ugly brute making me do his dirty work. Shut the face.
Why was I so blind? The soul is not of the body, it is of the spirit. A new skull I shall have, but sane person I'll remain. Oh, the agony of joy.
It never rains,
What?
but it pours,
Where
eh?
in the blazes? The last I knew was an old...
I prefer to drown my sorrows with ale.
Meow! The dog looks up at you with misery-ridden eyes. Its tail doesn't wag, and when it tries to bark or speak, only silence reaches. The dog hangs its head, then looks north. Filled with fury, it barks noiseless.
What's this, then? Who in the hells are you? And where am I? These aren't my bones. I wasn't switched skulls. What do you want about, you loon? This is intolerable. I used to be an important man round these parts, you know. I demand respect. The mayor I was and the mayor I am... Never. We've hit it, and then there's the busy days. Never. We've hit a bit of a rough patch, I'm afraid. Immigration, and then there's the rate of crime. Shot up terribly recently, what with the mass slaughter that took place. You'd think that kind of thing only happens in the big city. But no, we have our fair share of urban problems here in Hunter's Edge. Busy days, but don't you worry. Mayor Burton's off.
My kingdom for a dry start!
I prefer to drown my sorrows with ale.
What about that one? Look how it skulks around, neither orc nor enlightened. I'll bet no one would even notice if it disappeared.
There now. Another word about it. I'm the guilty.
Feeling hot under the...
Lovely sight up there. All in a row. Trying them up myself on you. Hate to be done. I never did much care for the turn myself. I'm more of a caretaker, see? The world's a wild place, unpredictable at best. But here, on these gallows, there's peace. Condemned in this life, perhaps. But when they come to resting on you, see, their sins are washed away. These old thieves and murderers and traitors, you see. Most of them, yes. But that's half my own business. Our great Queen Gratiunda is no stranger in her claws, laddie. And she'll not hesitate to pluck it. She's done with them all the same. Whether they're my little ones or hers makes no difference. I'm happy to bring them here. It should be an honour. Where ought we to start? Pauline came first, little rogue. A human he was, and Gratiunda ordered him hanged while Yar was out on the hunt. He was the first I got attacking. Oh, I remember it like it was yesterday. The fussy little dear didn't want to go to sleep. No, kicked and screamed. But he started to calm down. Oh, my little Tierno.
He was a sweet one right from the start. A thief, I think he was in his last life. But he accepted what was to come easy as pie. The guards handed him to him, limp as a doll and shivering with fright. I strung him up nice and snug, so he wouldn't worry the poor dear. No, he was one of Matilda's. After some impertinent question or other, I believe it was. Impertinent questions. A plague among we orcs they are, ending more deaths than horn rot these days. Matilda dispatched him, but it was I who collected the great heavy deer and strung him up here. Matilda said he'd be a warning to the others, but I think he's a great addition.
Matilda over the edge, does it?
Who'd have thought baking like a cake?
What about you there? Tell me, how's your vision? Any ailments in the liver or spleen? Lost ones are everywhere these days, after all.
Warm as
I'm a servant to the goddess, of course. One of the first among her enlightened in Revellon, and certainly the most devoted. I've scoured how much better the lost serve her as bone automatons. My expertise as a necromancer is unmatched, you know. I've a success rate. They end up with their brains a bit, well, scrambled. You can find such a fellow opining over skulls somewhere around here. One of...
Right.
Did someone leave another door open?
Look out for everyone. In the market for some premium, get anything and everything left behind by vermin after we've exterminated. And I must say, some of these roaches have mighty fine taste. The All-Mother chooses first to make the spoils, and the rest she grants to us to use or turn to profit.
The things I need in serving the goddess. And life.
I'll add another 10 to the tally.
Let the lost die that we may live.
Anything and everything. Get them, they turn to ash.
Brutilda doesn't tell you a thing, does she? We're waiting to fight the final battle. The time is nearly nigh.
I need to dry off. Mother, huge discounts on magic balls.